What's up, everyone? This is Culture91. Today we're going to be doing a pretty big video. This is my top 10 black metal bands of all time. Apologies in advance. My hair looks like ass. I haven't showered since last night, and I'm going to go to the gym in a minute, so I thought there's no point in me showering. But today's a big day because I'm going to be showing my top 10 black metal bands of all time, and it's an even bigger day because I bought tickets to go see Beherit in Los Angeles. I was meant to see them in Portland, in my area, but the tickets sold out because the venue nor the band announced that they even went on sale. So they were sold out before I even knew that they were on sale. So I have to travel to go see them because there's no chance I'm not seeing them. But yeah, so in honor of that, we're listening to Beherit, Engram. This is probably my second favorite album by them. First favorite is Drawing Down the Moon, of course, and then Oath of Black Blood. This one's fucking brilliant. Alright, top 10 bands of all time. Just for starters, we have Emperor. There's a reason they're number 10. These demos, the Wrath of the Tyrant and Emperor demos, in my opinion, top 5 black metal releases ever. However, I think they go very downhill after the demos. I love In the Nightside Eclipse. It's a very good record, but it doesn't have the same feeling to me. It's way more polished and it feels a bit more theatrical. This one is just pure raw emotion, it's just the first thing that comes to their mind and then they scream it out, and that's something I love about this record. It's just completely unfiltered. So while I love In the Nightside Eclipse, I think this one has a way more character. Plus there's nothing that sounds like this record. A lot of bands sound like In the Nightside Eclipse. You got Dimmu Borgir, you got Limbonic Art, Old Man's Child, early Nocturnal Mortem, so a lot of stuff sounds like that. But in my opinion, nothing really sounds like the demos. Sure, it's raw black metal, and there's a lot of raw black metal, but nothing has the same personality as this. And this is one of the best black metal releases of all time. I wish they had a more consistent discography, because like I said, I adore the first two, meaning this one and The Nightside Eclipse, but The Nightside Eclipse I don't love as much as everyone else, and the other records I simply don't care about. Oh god, I don't remember what the EP is called. There's an EP came out around this time. I don't remember what it's called. That one's brilliant too. It has like the lady crouching on the floor. That one's amazing too. And then Reverence, I think that's what it's called. That one's good too. But beyond those two EPs and this album and In the Nightside Eclipse, Emperor doesn't do much for me. But these two are absolutely unbelievable, especially this one. This is some of the best black metal ever recorded. Alright, next we have Bestial Warlust, Vengeance Mortal Death. Now, as you probably know, Bestial Warlust only did 2 records. We got this one and Blood and Valor. Blood and Valor I love, but this one smokes it. This one is just pure fucking hatred. There's not many bands that sounded like this at the time. You got like Order from Chaos, you got Beherit, you got Conqueror wasn't even around yet. You got Sarcophago, you got Blasphemy, you got Archgo, Profanatica. So not much was around. And even the ones that were around, I don't think they sounded like this. This is just unhinged war metal. That honestly is mostly vocal driven. Most war metal is kind of really heavy bass and really thick riffs and just really nasty sounding, whereas this is kind of just straight up black metal, only the vocals are really fucked up as well. Obviously black metal has sick vocals to begin with, but these ones are another level. They're closer to like, I don't know, Hellhammer or Conqueror than say like Gorgoroth or Dark Throne. It's just unbelievable stuff. So Bestial Warlust, Vengeance Mortal Death, one of the best albums ever. Alright, let's see. Next one we have Black Witchery, Desecration of Holy Kingdom. The flag right there. Black Witchery, this is a band that for a long time I couldn't really get into. I listened to Upheaval Satanic Might. It didn't do much for me. But after I listened to Inferno Sacred Destruction, this band just clicked with me. And this album and this band are one of the best of all time. They are U.S. legends for a reason, and they are just a lot like Bestial Warlust. They are pure fucking hatred. Most bands, all the bands on this list are very hateful, but I'd say none of them are as visceral as this one. It's so in your face and loud and abrasive and just sick sounding. Command of the Iron Baphomet, Chaos of Demonic Hate, Crash the Messiah, all unbelievable songs. And yeah, Black Witchery, Desecration of Holy Kingdom, one of the best ever. That, yes, there's a lot like it, but I don't think any of them are, like I said, as visceral, as intense as them. So, incredible stuff. Also, I want to say, too, I own the LPs of basically every band I'm showing, but I'm too lazy to pull them out because if I pull one out, then they'll all go slump over, and I don't want to deal with that. Alright, number 6? Yeah, great. Number 7. We have Judas Iscariot. This is another U.S. band, just absolutely legendary. Judas Iscariot started out in, I believe, 93, 94, something like that. And they were more or less a Dark Throne clone. And they did it very well, to be fair, but they were more or less a clone of early Norwegian bands, especially Dark Throne and Gorgoroth. But they never made a bad album, and they never made a weak album. All of their albums have a character of their own. Let's see. The Conqueror step below, just very raw black metal. Heaven in Flames, really raw black metal with like a touch of symphonic elements, like Emperor or Odium. Of Great Eternity is one of the best black metal albums of all time. Distant and Solitary Night, that is a massive record with some beautiful ambience as well as some really sick black metal. Dethroned, Conquered, and Forgotten, again, just blisteringly fast and fucked up in raw black metal. Let's see, and then this one, To Embrace the Corpse is Bleeding. This is some of the most hateful black metal in history. It's interesting because this is like Norwegian sounding black metal, tremolo picking, cold atmosphere. Most Norwegian black metal is more atmosphere driven than like a lot of it's very hateful, but it's not the main goal, and this is cold black metal, but I'd say it's just as hateful as like war metal. I'd say if you put with Lust and Murder for a Drink or Terror from the Eastern Sky compared to like a Conqueror song, I'd say it's just as hateful. And the riffs on here are fucking insane. The vocals are so high in the mix and so well done. It's just incredible. And yeah, this is one of the best black metal albums of all time. To be honest, I don't listen to Judas Iscariot as much as I should. I've listened to him a ton, but every time I see that I own him, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta listen to him more. So, Judas Iscariot, To Embrace the Corpse is Bleeding, one of the best ever. Or sorry, Judas Iscariot. That's not a showcase of that album. It's just Judas Iscariot. But yeah, all Judas Iscariot albums are fantastic. Some are better than others, obviously, but he's never made a bad record. His worst one is definitely To Embrace the Corpse is Bleeding, sorry. His worst one is definitely The Colder Step Below, but, still very solid black metal. Next we have Marduk. Swedish black metal legends, and to me, I'd say they are better than any of the Norwegian bands, most of the American bands, most of the Canadian bands. Marduk just fucking rules. Marduk took a different approach because a lot of the Swedish black metal, mostly the Norwegian black metal, however, was more atmosphere driven and more like trying to get in a cold sound, like say Beherit, not Beherit, Mayhem, or like Emperor, or like Dissection, but Dissection is Swedish. Yeah, fuck me, what am I talking about? At least I think they are. But yeah, Marduk was going for a different approach. They were way more aggressive with their style of black metal. Even the early records, which are pretty cleaned up, like this one is this is the debut full length. This one, Those Are the Unlight, Opus Nocturne. Those records are they're not that raw, they're black metal, but they're not like caveman type black metal. And in spite of that, there's so much aggression and there's so much just raw energy, you know. So this one especially, the vocals on here are just unhinged. They're actually very death metal sounding, especially the instruments on here. It's not a very fast record, but this record is mostly a mid-paced record with bits and pieces of it being blast beat oriented. But yeah, Marduk, unbelievable legends. There's nobody like them. I don't think there ever will be. Mostly mid-paced in the early days, and mostly blasting madness in their later days. It's just incredible stuff. Marduk, to me, is the best of the Scandinavian bands. At least within Norway and Sweden, and there's nobody like them. Marduk, fucking legendary. Next, we have the first of the top 5. We have Revenge. Attack Blood Revenge. Revenge is a band that I am talking about for years. I have the flag. I have a Conqueror flag right there. Revenge, there's nobody as good as Revenge. Revenge is, like I said with Black Witchery, Bestial, Warlust, pure fucking hatred. Here's the thing though. Most war metal, especially nowadays, and even modern Revenge, it gets so caught up in being aggressive, it loses some personality. Early Revenge has so much personality. This one, Triumph, Genocide, Antichrist, Victory, Tolerance, Mastery, Infiltration, Downfall, Death, all of those records are just reeking of hatred and anger and pessimism and conviction. You know, all of these records are very powerful sounding. You know, they all have a personality behind them that makes them feel authentic. And the music is killer as well with James Reed's vocals. He is the master of unhinged vocals on Revenge, but especially Conqueror, and he's just unbelievable. So yeah, Revenge, I'd say personally my second favorite Canadian black metal band of all time. They created something that most people in the war metal genre can only copy and never imitate. But the reason they are not higher up is because Conqueror is ahead of them. Conqueror, to me, is everything Revenge is, but better. Now, it's weird, because in a lot of ways, Revenge is a copy of Conqueror. However, I've always felt Revenge is a bit more aggressive. And Conqueror is a bit more controlled, maybe. So here's the thing. I think Revenge is more aggressive, but I think Conqueror is more unhinged. Conqueror, this similar level of aggression of Revenge, but it's just pure fucking noise. You know, it creates a wall of sound. Bloodhammer, Hammer of Antichrist, War Cult Supremacy, Dominator Invictus, Infinite Majesty, Chaos Damnation. This whole record is unbelievable. And it creates a trance-like atmosphere, which you don't expect with really raw, noisy black metal. Most trance-like black metal bands are from something pretty, like Odium or Emperor or Limonic Art or early Nocturnal Mortem. But this is a trance-like atmosphere in a fucked up sense. It seems like the apocalypse put into a record, and it's like you're experiencing it all around you. It's fucking incredible. And James Reed's vocals, Ryan Forster's guitar, I believe, yes, James Reed does vocals and drums, and then Ryan Forster does guitar, and maybe bass too. I don't remember. I don't know if there is a bass on here. But yeah, James Reed, fucking monster. Vocals, but especially drums. The drums on here some of them are so fast that the notes are almost indiscernible from one another. And then Ryan Forster, the ending of Dominator Invictus, the beginning of Infinite Majesty, the middle part of Chaos Damnation, he's an unbelievable talent. And there's nothing like Conqueror. I know it's kind of crazy to put Conqueror as my fourth favorite band of all time when they only have one full release, but it's just too goddamn good. There's nothing comparable to it. So Conqueror, War Cult Supremacy, or Conqueror. Number 3, we have possibly one of the most just filthy and disgusting and awesome black metal bands ever, Profanatica. Another U.S. black metal band. There's a surprising amount of U.S. black metal. But yeah, Profanatica started in the early 90s. I believe they started in 1990, actually. Obviously, him, Paul Ledney, and John McEntee, originally Incantation. I believe he left Incantation. He either left or got kicked out, one of those two. But regardless, he's out of Incantation, forms Profanatica, does a bunch of demos, and then the whole incident with the Raping of the Virgin Mary album happens, where the record got burned, or like it got destroyed by somebody. To this day, I don't think anybody's claimed ownership of that, but I believe it was one of the band members who did it, something like that. So yeah, after that happens, they take a break, disappear as Profanatica from 93, 94 until 2007, and that's what this is. And then Have a Hedge was Paul Ledney's project during the 90s, the early 90s to late 90s, and it's still ongoing. But yeah, Profanatica, they are, in my mind, the most disgusting black metal band of all time. There's not a single riff by them that is pretty. There's not a single vocal line by them that is easy to understand or that doesn't make you feel uncomfortable in some way. Whenever Paul Ledney he screams out something foul, it is uncomfortable, but in a very fucking, interesting and fun way, it's creepy, but not in the sense that it's, bad. It's creepy in the sense that it's just interesting, Like Betrayal of the Lamb. This, oh my god. The song Betrayal of the Lamb on here is he does the scream to open the song, and then it delves into the dirgiest sounding black metal I've ever fucking heard in my life. And they continue that mantra throughout their entire career. They're still ongoing, thankfully. They've put out, I believe, 7 full lengths, something like that. And all of them are just like this really fast-paced Black Death. And when there are mid-paced sections, it's never easy. It's never easy to listen to or to understand. It's always fucking butt-ugly filthy. And then Paul Ledney compliments it. So they have never cleaned up in their whole 30 years of existence. They have only gotten more refined, but they are still as filthy as ever. However, the early days, particularly the demos and this, are the peak of them, and they just are unbeatable. To be honest, it blows my mind. They went from the demos in 91, 92, 93, and they come back to this, and they are just as filthy as before. Because you would think they would have to go in, or they would have to do a record to be like, okay, this is what we're doing now. They have to get accustomed to it again. But no, they picked up right where they left off, and it's still as amazing as ever. So, Profanatica is a band I will always adore, simply because they were one of the first truly shocking bands I ever got into. And to this day, every time I listen to them, it feels fresh. I never listen to them and get tired of them, even though I've heard every album at least 20 times. Every time I listen to them, it's unbeatable. Number 2, we have Beherit. Now, I'm not saying this because I got tickets today. I'm saying this because I have always adored Beherit. You got Beherit right there. You have this is the Osaka Fest poster. I didn't go to it, but I have that up only because Beherit. If you go over here too, you got the Drawing Down the Moon book, and then you got all my shit here. So I've always loved Beherit. But the truth is, I've listened to the Beherit albums countless times, and they never get boring. Even the simplistic albums. So look at like this: Oh, the Black Blood, really raw, traditional war metal sound, similar to Sarcophago or Hellhammer or Blasphemy. There's tons of albums like it, but to this day, I can listen to it and just be blown away. There's tons of albums like it, but none of them copy Beherit, because Beherit has something special. They have that occult atmosphere with the beautiful ambience and creepy whispering vocals, and that is prevalent in Beherit throughout the early years, but especially the later years. So Beherit to me is special, mainly because they were so close to being like all the other bands, like Blasphemy, Archgoat, Bestial, Warlust, all those Bestial bands, Sarcophago, but they did something just unique enough to make it stand out. They did that on Oath of Black Blood, but even more so in Drawing Down the Moon. Drawing Down the Moon, to this day, is my second favorite black metal band album of all time. And there's nothing like it. It's the creepiest, most occult-sounding black metal album you'll ever hear in your life. And it's just incredibly performed. Really tight, thick bass and really thick, tight guitar with Nuclear Holocaust's vocals. His vocals are just sick and really well done and refined. So every Beherit record is done incredibly well, but depending on what you want, it really depends on what you want from Beherit, on which one you like the most. But I think all of the early albums, especially I'd say especially Drawing Down the Moon, is you'll like all of them. Even Engram is fantastic. Even fucking the ambient shit is amazing too. So I think Beherit has never made an album that's bad. They've made albums I don't personally like, but all of the records I think are quality. So Beherit, unbelievable legends that I can't believe I'm seeing. So, all right, number one is a no-brainer for me. This is a band I've adored for so many years, and I don't listen to them as much as I should anymore, but whenever I do, they're always fucking genius. Leviathan. Leviathan as a band that my most recent video, as you saw, was my Leviathan collection, so you guys have known them, big fan of them. Plus, I've talked about him so many times in this channel. But Leviathan, just the most talented black metal artist I've ever heard in my life. Every album by him is quality. 10 Syllable Suicide, in my opinion, the best black metal album of all time. Tentacles of Horror, in my top 10 black metal albums of all time. How Mockery of the Cross, it's not my favorite, but it's still incredibly killer demos, and every song has its own charm. Silhouette and Splinters, that is beautiful, creepy ambience. Massive Conspiracy Against All Life is a massive nightmare, just like drug trip of a record. Scar-Sighted, Tentacles of Horror, True Chariot, True Horror. True Chariot, True Horror is his only misstep, but everything besides that is just brilliant, especially Massive Conspiracy, Tentacles of Horror, and 10 Sub-Level Suicide. So yeah, Leviathan, in my mind, his early vocal incarnations, especially on this album and 10 Sub-Level Suicide, are the most sick and fucked up vocals in the history of black metal, with some unbelievable riffs sprinkled in there too. Never For Peace, Air to the Noose of Ghoul, at the Door of 10 Sub-Level Suicide, Idiot Son. All those records have amazing riffs. They get sprinkled in between the pummeling, fucked up blast beats. So Leviathan is easily number one. I could see why they're overrated to some people, or why he's overrated to some people, but to me, he's such a creative force, does everything himself. All his albums are killer, all his albums are replayable, and I can't imagine being a black metal fan without loving his music personally. And I had to show it off because I show it off every time. The Leviathan Blood Painting by Maxine Riccardi that I commissioned him to do. So yeah, that's my full list. I hope you guys enjoy my picks. If you have any input you want to say, please feel free. What are your, probably won't want to do your top 10, but what's your top 5 black metal bands of all time? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I will try to record more. I've been working a lot and just not feeling motivated, but if I get up to it, I want to record more. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like my picks, all that, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.